So far, we have covered the difficult words. Now, we are beginning our lesson, and the first topic is why libraries are important for societies. You can see the screen. There are some points. The first point explains that library plays a bridge between developed and developing countries. There are countries which are developed and they have people who are good in knowledge, and the other countries which are developing, whenever they need some advice or they need information about any subject, then the libraries help as a bridge between both the two countries, the developed countries and the developing countries. And the quality of information which is provided in library, that is important, because we know that library acts as a bridge between the developed and developing countries. So they play a very important role between the source and the user. The information which we receive from the library, that is important, as we need to be mindful of choosing and looking after the information which is provided carefully. As we know that the quality of information is an important concern and it is a challenge for everyone. So library acts as a helping source. And also the libraries need a good space where people can discuss, they can socialize, and they can do research and carry many more functions. Now these points which you can see on screen, these points are explaining that personalization of information provision is important. And also, all the public libraries which are used by the general public, they all play very important role. And therefore, the future of libraries will depend on how flexible these libraries are. So it depends upon the flexibility of the library, whether they are using the new advanced knowledge and new advanced upcoming technology and machines. So that decides the future of library. And as we know that nowadays ICT is used quite often, so ICT is one of the key driver. But still, we all have a challenge, and that challenge is the digital divide. Because everything now is becoming digital and it needs more efforts. Now, let us see the objectives of this lesson. The first objective is we will be able to define library and an information center. The other objective is we will be able to describe the purpose and functions of a library and an information center. And the next objective is we will be able to explain the role of libraries and information centers in modern society. So let us now continue. The word library is derived from the Latin word. And the Latin word is libraria, which means a book place. And this libraria word is originated from the term liber. And the meaning of liber is book. The Oxford Companion of the English Language explains the word library as a collection of books, periodicals, and or other materials primarily written and printed. So these materials can be CD, hard disk, pen drive, all those materials which are found in soft copy. And also the hard copy material, as we know, the books, the paper. And Harrod's Librarian's Glossary and reference book defines the word library as all these definitions. So the first definition explains that library is a collection of books and other library material, other literary materials which are kept for reading, study, and consultation. All those other literary materials can be CD or anything in which we can store the information. It can be news, it can be film, it can be videotape, it can be audio-video material, anything which is virtual, which is in soft copy. Another definition explains library as a place or a building, a room, or a room set apart for the keeping and use of a collection of books, etc. Another definition of library is a number of books issued by one publisher under a comprehensive title as the Loeb classical library, it is a publisher's name. They are usually having some general characteristics such as subject, binding, or typography. And generally, they have the bindings in particularly two colors, green and red. And also their typography is unique in their own way. Another definition of library is, it defines library as a collection of films, photographs, and other non-book materials, plastic or metal tapes, and discs and programs. You must have seen the older machines like cassettes, tape recorder, recorded tapes. So all those materials are considered as non-book materials, which are in plastic or metal. As we have understood the definition of library, now further, in view of all those definitions, a library can be defined as, it is a place in which literary and artistic materials such as books, periodicals, newspapers, pamphlets, prints, records, tapes, and artifacts, all these are kept for reading, references, or lending. So library is a place where we keep all these items for our use. We can find the different books from different time periods in library. It is a one place where all records are kept. So people can come for the research work, for the reading purpose, for finding any reference, and they also use books for lending. They keep the book for 1 week or 2 weeks, then they return the books in library back. Also, library can be defined as a collection of such materials, especially when they are all systematically arranged and people can come and search their book easily, in an easy way. Also, it can be defined as a room in a private home for keeping our collection. Another definition can be that library is an institution or a foundation maintaining such a collection. Now, this figure is very important. He is Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. We all call him as father of library science in India. He describes the library as a public institution or an establishment charged with the care of collection of books and the duty of making them accessible to those who require to use them. So because of him, nowadays we are using library. Until now, we all know that library is an important place. So far, whatever we have covered, let us review all those points here. The first point which we discussed was that library is a collection of books and other literary materials kept for reading, study, and consultation. The next point which we discussed was that library is a place, a building, a room, or rooms set apart for keeping and use of a collection of books. Also, the third point which we discussed earlier defines that library as a number of books issued by one publisher. This publisher, Leob Classical Library, is a non-Indian publisher. They are usually having some general characteristics such as subject, binding, or typography. The fourth point which we discussed was that library is a collection of films, photographs, and other non-book materials, plastic or metal tapes, and there are some discs and some programs in that collection. Thank you.